I was not one of those people that growing up always knew what I wanted to do. I didn't have a plan. I started out in restaurants where I really developed a love of people and a love of service. Just being able to anticipate people's needs, really being able to just serve them, and really just the relationships that came with that. As I had a family, I knew that career was not going to be able to pan out for much longer just because of the needs of my family and my life schedule. I just knew that I couldn't continue in the restaurant business for much longer. It took me quite a few years to actually finally work up the nerve to decide that, you know what, you really actually can be a realtor. And when I finally made the decision, it just became a natural fit for me. As a mom, I was able to be there for my kids, for everything, but still have the flexibility to run a business and to be there for my clients.
During the process, Cathie would check in with me once or twice a week, just checking in, making sure things were good, making sure I was feeling good. With selling our house, it's a big deal, and it was super stressful. So it was so comforting to have her always there, checking in on us, making sure everything was cool.
I love walking new buyers through the process, and people who are selling their homes. Sometimes they've lived in these homes for 35 years, and they really don't know what it's like to sell a home. So I love to be able to walk them through the process.
Originally, we had thought about listing the house online. We decided not to do that, and we were so happy that we didn't. There were several things that we didn't know what to do, so Cathie was super helpful in those situations.
My best advice for somebody who is looking to buy a new home, or somebody who is actually even thinking about selling a home, is contact a realtor. It is not as simple as sticking your house on Facebook and selling it, and believe me, I was one of those people who thought that back in the day. It's a process. There are legal contracts that have to be followed, and I'm not going to quote the actual percentage at this point because I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I know a few years ago it was around 87% of all for sale by owners would fall through, and that's a pretty large number. It just really shows the importance of having an agent who has your best interest at mind, to be able to help you and walk you through the process. I believe that with this huge responsibility of helping people buy and sell their homes, that I 100% have to always do my best to represent their clients. I know there have been a lot of people who have said, you know, over the years that they think that doing things like open houses are antiquated, and I just absolutely disagree. I think it's very important to do an open house.
After the first week, she held an open house for us, and our buyer actually came to our open house. Within 2 weeks, we sold our house.
You know, sometimes people are thinking, yeah, I might want to buy a new home, but they're scared to make that phone call and reach out to somebody and actually schedule an appointment. But if they see that there's an open house, they might come through. So whereas, you know, you might, when you've got a home listed, you might have 3 or 4 showings over the span of a couple days. When you do an open house, I could have 8 to 10 people come through just in a 2-hour span. So the homes that I'm listing are getting a lot more exposure that way.
So I was super stressed out through the whole process. Cathie was amazing, always texting me, checking in on me, saying I was okay, what I needed. She was always quick to respond to everything that we were asking of her. I always needed extra information, and she was always happy to give that to us.
I love the whole process of real estate. So being able to walk my clients through the very tedious and serious contracts to the closing day where, you know, sometimes we're handed a mason jar full of keys for their new home. Just the whole process, being able to walk alongside of them and guide them through. It's such a big deal. This is one of the largest purchases that anybody will ever make in their life, and to be a part of such an important thing is really humbling for me.
This was our biggest purchase that we had made to date, and Cathie made it super easy as could be.
We take a lot of time every day studying our market, the houses that are for sale, the houses that go pending, and when they sell, what they're selling for. We spend a lot of our day just making sure that we know exactly what's going on around here. So it's really important that, you know, even if you're not using me, make sure that you're using a local agent who knows and understands our community. Another thing that really makes it important is realtors in general are just very generous, and we really want to give back to our community. So, you see us sponsoring your kids' softball teams, basketball teams, giving back to community projects. We like to keep that money local. And so I just think it's really important to use somebody who's local who will be continuing to give back. The home buying process can be very stressful, and I want to be there with you to take some of those hits and make it less stressful and a more enjoyable experience for you, because like I said before, I love to have fun, and I will want to make this a fun experience for you and me.